Hello everyone, we are here with Kristy. Kristy is a gorgeous human being, a beautiful soul, and an energy healer. So, Kristy, would you mind to deep down into your background and why you're doing what you're doing?
So I personally do one-on-one sessions and facilitate workshops and ceremonies. When it comes to why I do the work that I do, how do I explain this? Okay, so the doors opened to me personally when I started working with this healer, and I was probably around the age of like early 20s, and I went to her because I had a headache, and I had constant like fibromyalgia, so constant headaches. It was a very bad chronic pain, and I tried everything else. I was so disengaged from spirit, from the universe, and I loved to party and have fun and do all these things. And I went to this woman, and I guess the floodgates opened for me personally, and I started to witness earthbound spirits. Went into my Ashik records, and every time I started to meditate, I'd get taken into Ashik records and then started passing through earthbound spirits. So I was around 23, maybe 24, but I was still mentally unwell at the time. So I was also building a salon. And so in, I guess, the human existence, I was under high stress, high pace, building a $90,000 salon. I had these gifts opening up for me, and then eventually I went to another healer, and he explained to me that I was in a fork of the road, and he goes, you need to learn to crawl before you run. And for me personally, I went into the healing and then it got removed. But with that removes trust and just that unconditional love that you feel, like the deep unconditional love that you feel through the safety of the world around you, because you know it's bigger than you. So then I plummeted again into my mental illness, and then eventually I did a lot of work, and I went from, instead of the psych game, I turned it to alternative style healing, did a huge deep dive and reprogrammed my brain, and it was about 9 months of extreme energetic work, and I popped out the other end, and I remember the last vibration of illness just like lifting off me, and I could breathe. And then I looked around the world, and I was like, okay, now that I'm well, none of this shit makes sense. And so I knew that there was something bigger, and it was like I could see a line and I couldn't fall over it, but I was like right there. And so for me personally, I went back to another person I was working with at the time, and I was like, I'm almost there in what I'm supposed to do in this life. I'm like, I can feel it, I just can't cross over, I can't cross that line. So we did another shift, another energy healing, and then 6 weeks later, it just started plummeting through me. And then eventually I had my very large spiritual awakening, which some refer to it as the purest form of Kundalini spirit, where I was paralyzed with energy. I was sweating, I was like an electric bolt, my eyes were pulsating black, I had white light shooting from me, and so I was paralyzed literally for like over 2.5 hours, changed my DNA, everything I was anaphylaxis to was no longer anaphylaxis to, and then the gifts just kept coming. And then eventually I realized that life's all about duality, and there's a reason why I had traveled so much darkness from the age of 14 through to 29 to the extreme of the other side, which is pure love and light just plummeting through me, to then eventually integrate the both and then be where I'm at now. So
correct.
That's a little bit about it.
No, thank you for that sharing. So you mentioned Akashic Records. Would you mind explaining that?
Oh, okay. So for me personally, my biggest thing is that we don't know until we die. So like us as humans, we will never know. So there's like so many things out there that we experience, but we don't know what's right and wrong, technically. Like we only know our truth, and that's I'm the biggest advocate. What is true to you is what is true to you. So in regards to the experience that I had with the Ashik records, from my understanding, it's just like files and files and files, and it's this huge library. and it's just full of contracts, and I personally do soul contract work with clients. So it's like when we decide to come down to live this experience, and we ultimately sign contracts going, I'm going to beat this karmic cycle, or I'm going to relive it until I learn how to beat it, whatever it is, your agreement before you enter here. So with the Akashic records, it's like filing cabinets full of all these records, of all these contracts.
Amazing.
So that's my understanding of it, yeah.
All right. Could you explain a little bit further of how one of your practices works? Like, I mean, the whole practice, how does it work? Like, how would be a session with someone?
Yeah.
What do they go through? How is that experience?
So if we were doing a one-on-one session, my biggest boundary at the moment when it comes to spirit, because you can alter your avatar and who you want to work with. When I started working, I opened the doors, and my biggest thing was that I gave energetically and gave, and I didn't know the safety in the energetics and the spirit world, and the safety for me as well. So I took a step back, and I invested a lot of time and a lot of money into learning that, to come back into the field to be able to hold a safe space for the person that's receiving the healing, and myself as well. So my biggest thing is that I'm not going to do the work for you. Like, I will not, because it's your responsibility as a consumer and as a person to do what's required for your healing journey, because at the end of the day, you're doing the work, not me. And so when my clients come, I only work with people that want to work with themselves. So I readjusted, rather than actually having an hour session where people would storytell and often dump, because that was happening, and there are amazing people there to hold that. It's just not the way that I work. So I shorten the time period. I'm getting way more results with the clients, and the clients are enjoying it more because we deep dive. So when a client comes in, would you like to know what happens with the client, or how it works in the background?
Honestly, both, if you can share it.
Okay, so before a session, I personally empty out. So all my energy, everything about me becomes gone. So I become this shell. I set up all the energetics, so all the safety around both myself and me, like my vessel, so my DNA, because it can't go into my cells pretty much. It has to stay away. So then I call in the person, and I make sure that they are energetically held in unconditional white light. There's just mass amounts of safety around us. Now, when a client comes in, I feel them. So it's like I can feel their pain, their sadness, where things are stuck. So if it's stuck in their throat, they've got headaches, they've got aches, pains, if there's pressure in the back, but it sits out here. So it's not in me, I can feel it, but I've created that safety barrier for me personally as a practitioner, because I'm not holding that for you. I can feel it and I can help move it through, but I'm not consuming that because it's not mine to carry. So with a person, their experience ultimately with myself is I will feel them straight away. We will have a chat, and I often script. So I will do what's called automatic writing. So throat might come up, and then I'll start it. I usually will get right down to the core answer as to why their throat's caught. And we'll go through that. I'll explain it. So I'll explain what I've channeled. I often will I'll get visions, their energy. So it's like I'm working with their soul and their energy. So they will like show me all these snippets. They'll explain to me, they'll talk, or they'll show me photos. Like they'll show me all of this stuff. And so we can go through I can work with their younger child. We can go through, so younger child works quite like very, very deep. So there's times where I sit with that younger self, and I will watch their younger self transform from this, like, a child that's going, no, enough. And I will take that moment, I will ask the person to breathe and just close down their eyes and keep breathing for me. And then I often sit with the child and then create it unconditional love and safety. And then the child will integrate their own safety, energetic safety. And then that memory and that trigger isn't a trigger anymore because they feel safe within themselves in their body. So I don't do any of the work, I just witness this. So with people, it's funny because there might be a topic and they'll show me the topic, but then they'll shut the door. And they're like, no, Kristy, I'm not ready for it yet, but I'm just showing you that this is here and we can work on it, but not yet. And so it's always directed by them. So then you've got like younger self healing, you've got obviously your chakra and your auric field. Chakra is your middle, auric field is kind of like the clothes that we wear all around it. So instantly straight away we clean that out. Ancestor work, past life healing, soul contracts. So it just goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So.
Wow. Impressive. So would you mind sharing one of the most memorable, experiences that you ever had with a client or a group?
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
Yeah, just pick one.
One of them, it was literally last week. She brought me to tears. My tears, not her tears.
Wow.
And I jumped on the phone call and she gave me such incredible feedback that I bursted into tears, because for a human to have that much relief that she felt and to be at the level that she is currently feeling and currently at, from one human to another, it's just, I know what that feels like, to finally be at peace and finally want to live. And so it just brought me to tears. Yeah.
Wow.
I can't disclose too much because of
No.
confidentiality.
I totally understand. All right. So when it comes to running your practice and supporting others, so what's one of the biggest challenges that you have gone through?
Isolation.
Okay. Do you mind, explaining more about it?
So I host full moon workshops, and I will be running workshops on different topics and whatnot. And I enjoy them because there's people. And every single person that lands in a workshop or lands in a group, they're meant to be there. So it's never a coincidence. Like, every single person brings something to the table, and as a facilitator, I think a lot of people forget that, because a lot of people counting ticket numbers, and a lot of people, where I think we need to do a lot of work as a facilitator, is understanding what do we deem success? Is it the amount of followers? Is it the amount of likes? Is it the amount of ticket sales? Is it the amount of money that you make? Like, to me, success is connection, wealth is connection, but it can be 4, or it can be 15, or it can be 20. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't matter. And it's quite interesting to see the different, I've held different size spaces, and it's amazing to see the different, energies in that space. And as a facilitator, being able to hold that energetically, because obviously I'm working quite deeply in the background. So I'm watching and facilitating everyone at such a deep level energetically to make sure everybody's okay. The larger the group, the bigger I guess it is to hold. But for me personally, it's the isolation of doing everything behind the scenes by yourself. So I found, creating these spaces and knowing every single person that's there is there to give me a message just as much as I'm there to give them a message. So it's like, this isn't a coincidence, especially when you're working with spirit. Nothing's a coincidence. So I enjoyed the ability to connect and have these, workshops and ceremonies to gain that connection. But when it comes to, the background as a facilitator and the background as a worker within the industry, and I know this for a lot of people, we're not here to do marketing and social media posts, and the amount of time and energy and resources go in to make a 30-second pitch for not guaranteed sales, not guaranteed money exchange, not guaranteed likes, or whatever it is that you need, we need for gratification, because we don't get it. Often, in this field, you don't get the instant gratification. It's not how healing works. So I think as a facilitator, there's actual levels in which, as you go, you really need to check yourself and you need to do some shadow work, because it is different. It is isolating. It's not my past was a hairdresser. So I fixed and made people look beautiful, and I received that gratification straight away.
Mm.
And that was one of the things that it took me a good year to adjust, to go, oh my gosh, you're not getting the thanks. Like, you're not getting that. And so I think if we can, as facilitators within the industry, understand our non-negotiables, like my non-negotiable now is collaboration, is connection. So I'm redesigning my business to gain that. I'm not dropping it and going, okay, well, this is what it looks like, and this is just a cookie cutter approach like everybody else is. I'm like, no, cool, I understand this model, but I'm changing that model because that model doesn't suit me. But my biggest thing was, isolation and just the amount of energy that goes out for minimal return. That's a big one.
Amazing. Wow. Now, so if you were to give anyone an advice about a practice or a mindset shift or a habit that they could integrate or that they should integrate in their life to improve their wellness journey, what would that be?
Meditation. Yep, but it doesn't have to be stillness. It's whatever that meditation is to that person. The whole idea of meditation is to understand that you are not your thought. You are not that emotion. You are not everything that you feel. You can take that step back, but people have this idea of what meditation should look like. But you can meditate through skipping. You can meditate through exercise, through dance, through voice, through singing. Like, it doesn't, whatever it is that allows you to take that step back so you are not your thoughts and you are not that emotion. That's what I deem meditation, and that's what I would deem probably the most important thing, because so many people walk around and they are their emotions and they are their thoughts, and 80% of the world I can pinpoint where they're stuck, so what age they're actually stuck in, because that's where their emotions are sitting, so therefore they cannot comprehend any further than the emotions that they're feeling. So often I might see 40-year-olds that ultimately, when triggered, respond like a 15-year-old, and that is, at the end of the day, who we're talking to is a 15-year-old child. And unfortunately that is because there is no separation. There's no, oh my gosh, I am not that. I am not my emotion. I am not anxiety. I'm not, anger. I am not this obsessive thoughts that keep going over and over again, like our brain's computer system. And it's beautiful, and there is very much a reason why we need to be human and spirit at the same time. Like, there's a balance piece because we're here to be human and to feel. We're just not all of it.
Wow. So now, finally, to wrap up, just want to ask you about what is coming next. What are those, endeavors, goals coming for you?
More collabs, more connection, more workshops. I definitely will do a retreat, 100%, and just more authentic versions of me. I can only offer and promote the fact that everyone will only ever receive the most authentic version. So if something's not working, I will not push it. I will redivert it until it's true to me, because that is the magic, and that's where I can hold the most safety and hold my clients and stand next to them and help people through their journey. If I'm not pushing, I cannot push something that's not working. It's not flowing. Yeah. What it looks like, I have no idea.
Well, we will see. I think that's enough, for today. I really appreciate your time. Very mindful of your time, and
thank you.
And very appreciated. And I know that people will get a lot of value from this.
Thank you.
Thank you.